Are you new to the Netherlands or newly pregnant and wondering what to expect? Then this is the episode for you. Our guest, Geertje Swinkels, will take us through what you need to know during your pregnancy, from the group centering pregnancy to all the tests and ultrasounds that you'll be offered during your pregnancy to deciding on contraception options for after you give birth. We cover it all and more, which is why we split up our conversation into 2 parts. I hope you enjoy. Today, we will be talking with Gertje Maria Swinkels, a midwife and owner of Kinderrijk Meerhoven midwifery practice. Welcome, Gertje.
Welcome. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, my name is Gertje Maria Swinkels, and Maria is my second name, so that's easier for internationals, so you can call me Maria. I'm a midwife for 21 years, and I'm a mother of 4 boys in the age of 18, 16, 14, and 9. And I work as a voluntary midwife in Africa, in the Gambian, to be exact. And I went there 5 times now, and it's great to help women in pregnancy and in labor from all nationalities, from all places all over the world. I'm really grateful that I can be there for them.
That's awesome.
I think the knowledge is good in Africa, but they have not the supplies that we have here in the Netherlands. So yeah, I always, when I come back, I realize that you can be very happy that you can have your child in the Netherlands because the care is so much better and easier than comparing to Africa. What I learned from there is also to have faith and that a baby will not die. It's just nature and everything goes how it should go. And of course, the religion is different over there. Most of them are Muslims, and they also believe that what God gives, that comes on the way. But yeah, babies are very strong, and the circumstances are hard, but they survive. So, and in the Netherlands, you have all the protocols and all the restrictions, and all people are always having a mindset that you can control everything, but that isn't the case. And over there, people just get a child. That's it. And they do it. And they have no other options than just deal with it. Deal with the circumstances, deal with the pain. And you can handle it.
Trust that it's going to be okay.
Trust that it will be fine. And
and then might be also that here, to save one child, we have to monitor, intervene in much more cases than it's actually necessary.
True. Yes. Yeah. And I think sometimes here people lose the trust in their body. So that sure. You can think, you can plan everything, you can control everything. We give you an expected delivery date, and when people pass the date, they are freaking out because the baby isn't there. And I really believe that the baby comes on the date that it should be, because the baby will have a purpose in life. And I really believe in numerology, that it's already written that it should be that date and not what we calculated. So.
Yeah, beautifully said. Yeah. We really dove into it. But we would like to also hear about your story, about yourself. What led you to become a midwife?
I'm the oldest one of 4 kids, and I have 2 brothers, 1 sister. My sister is 8 years younger than I am. And when I was young, I was already taking care of them. And I really knew very early that I want to become a doctor in my childhood. And so I worked on that to study, and I wanted to become a children's doctor. But then when I was like 18, I was witnessing a very bad accident. And that made so much impression on me that I was thinking, okay, I don't want to be a doctor and always have to do with people passing away. And also midwifery was a thing that I was really interested in, because it's the starting of new life, and you guide the mother and you guide the child to coming into the world instead of leaving the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big happening in my life that made that I took another direction.
Mm.
And then I started studying midwifery in Rotterdam for 4 years, and I had a really great time. And when I came back from Rotterdam, I had the opportunity to work in all places of Eindhoven. But there was also a practice who was looking for a midwife who wants to start her own practice. And that was in Meerhoven, because that was an area that there was nobody working and the other midwives were too busy to do it extra. So that's the moment in 2003 that I start my own practice. And I really liked it to think everything out myself, to develop a way of working. And the way of working I started with was that people always can call me in the middle of the night. I want to give them the trust and the faith in their body and to be there for people. And so I worked there on my own for 3 years. And then I got a colleague, Janneke, and we worked together for 17 years. In the beginning, we did a lot of home births. It were only Dutch people. But yeah, in the years that were coming, there were more people from outside of the Netherlands. A few years, we had a lot of Chinese people. So we were very interested in their ways of life. So we translated our website in Chinese, and then later other nationalities came in. We did education to make sure that we can understand other cultures, and yeah, to see if you are born in China or if you're born in India, or in the USA, you are programmed different than if you're born in the Netherlands. So the healthcare system, you're not familiar with that. And that can give you a lot of fear. So my goal was really to close the gap between the system that you're used to and the system where you're coming in, and just look together what gives you enough faith to have your baby here.
Well, one of my clients also goes to your practice, and she said to the Centering Pregnancy group, and she said that you really started with this, that, hey, you came from another country, from a different background, another culture. Here it's different. It doesn't mean that it's better or worse. It's just different. And she said that it gave her such a nice feeling that you really knew what she's going through, and that she was listened to. That was a really important added value for her.
Yeah, nice to hear. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do you have now more expat clients, or it's like 50-50?
No. It's like 80% is not Dutch.
Okay.
So 80% expats internationals, 20% Dutch people.
Okay. So now you're really specialized.
Yeah, we try to mix it also in, you mentioned it already, our Centering Pregnancy groups. I think we do this now for 8-9 years. Every month we start a new group with 10 to 12 women who are in the same month due, expecting the baby. And because what we know is that as an international or expat, you can feel very lonely. Your friends are not here, your family is not here. You miss the support. They always tell you, okay, it takes a village to raise a child. Yeah, and if the village is not there, then it can be very hard and lonely. So centering pregnancy is a concept which is done all over the Netherlands, but we are the only practice who does it in English, and we just find a way that it feels comfortable for men and women. So we have 9 meetings of 2 hours, and in the 2 hours we discuss all the subjects of pregnancy, like healthy lifestyle, how to prevent diabetes. We have Anna, she comes for one meeting about breastfeeding, so we are very happy that she joins our group meetings because she's the specialist in that part. We have a yoga teacher, and last week I had also a father coach. So he has spent 2 hours with all the becoming fathers, and they discussed all their fears, their expectations, how to be a good parent, what do you expect from the child, what do you want to give, and so on. And in the 9 meetings, we experienced that the group really becomes a group, and they help each other, they ask each other questions, they keep in touch afterwards. We had one group, then one woman was in hospital, the other members start cooking for her. We had one group there, one woman had a premature baby and not enough breast milk, so another lady donated her breast milk. So yeah, really amazing things happen in the groups.
Oh, that's so cool to hear.
And we have one meeting afterwards with all the babies. That's also really nice.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it okay if we rewind a little bit? Let's say that I've just had a positive pregnancy test. Who do I notify first?
You can always contact the midwife as soon as you have a positive test. If you call our practice, you will talk to our assistant, Nikki. She's also a midwife, but she specialized in being our assistant. And when you talk to her, she will explain you a few things on the phone. We send you an email and we book an appointment around 7 or 8 weeks pregnancy. At that moment, it is possible to do an ultrasound to see if the pregnancy is located in the right position, if there is a heartbeat, and to guide you and explain you everything, what will happen this 9 months.
And is that ultrasound done in the clinic?
Yeah, we have 2 locations, one in Meerhoven, one in close to Maxima Eindhoven. And in both locations, we have an ultrasound machine, and there all the midwives are trained also as ultrasound specialists, so we can do that ultrasound over there.
Is that a vaginal ultrasound or a belly ultrasound, the first one?
In the first ultrasound below 10 weeks, it's a vaginal ultrasound because the uterus is hiding behind your pubic bone and you cannot see anything if you do it from the outside. So that's why we prefer to do an internal ultrasound.
Okay. And then what other tests are done throughout the pregnancy?
Every test in the Netherlands is an option. So your midwife will tell you the benefits and disadvantages from every research. In the Netherlands, the system is not that the doctor or the midwife tells you, okay, this you have to do. Nothing is mandatory. The first ultrasound is around 8 weeks. Then you have the second ultrasound around 11 weeks. That's to measure the baby and see what is the expected delivery date. You will get one date, but the baby can come in a period of 5 weeks, 3 weeks before the date and 2 weeks after. I can explain something about that later. Then around 11 weeks, you can do a blood test to see if you have more chance for a baby with a syndrome, with a chromosome problem. That's optional. And there is done a blood test to see the blood type of the mother, strange antibodies, your glucose level, your iron level, vitamins. Yeah, it depends on your health, what we have to check. Then there is an ultrasound around 13 weeks. It's called an anomaly scan. It's to see if the baby's organs are developed normal as far as you can see it with 13 weeks. Then around 19 weeks, you have the second anomaly scan, because with 19 weeks, you can see much more. The baby is a bit bigger. You can see the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, hands, feet, and everything is checked. Of course, you cannot always see everything on the ultrasound. Then around 20 weeks, there's another blood test to see your iron level. Then around 27 weeks, there is another blood test to do a glucose test or an iron test. And then around 34 weeks, there is an ultrasound to see the position of the baby. If the baby is with the head down, and also the growth will be checked. So yeah, I think that are the most important research. Of course, when it's necessary, there are extra tests.
And regarding the glucose test, is that offered to everyone across the board?
No, the glucose test is done if you have a risk factor. If you're from India or if you're from Turkey or Morocco, then you have more chance for diabetes because it's more in the genes. And in the pregnancy, sometimes your body is not functioning that good. So it's possible that you get gestational diabetes. Of course, you can already try to prevent things like healthy lifestyle, healthy food, have enough movement. But it's not standard.
In a lot of countries, it is like I'm from Hungary, and there you also have just a standard glucose test.
Of course, you can think about it, do it with everybody, but it's a quite annoying test. You have to go there fasting. And in the Netherlands, the policy is that we only do tests if it's reasonable, achievable. So if it's not necessary, why should you test it? If you have not risks, it's not necessary. And also the more you test, the more stress you can experience. Because, you do an ultrasound and then they see, maybe the baby's too small or too big. And they give you a lot of fear. And most of the times in the end, nothing is going on.
Yeah.
And
also while you're waiting for the results of the test, that also gives you
also
uncertainty.
Stress. Yeah. Of course, if you're programmed to have a lot of tests and you only feel confident when you have the test, then you can also freak out if you get no test. So that's why
what
we
I
want
also
to
hear a lot, that people are more used to checkups and that they are more monitored, and here you only have a checkup when there is a reason for that, or
yes,
it's a different
that can
approach.
also be very scary. So that's why we try to make sure that you feel comfortable. So it's always good to discuss things. But my experience is that when I explain very well why I think it's not necessary or why, then people are fine with that. It's just that you hear them. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. Yes.
All right. So you kind of explained all of the tests that can happen throughout the pregnancy. What happens at just like a routine midwife visit?
Okay, when you visit one of the group meetings, then the first half an hour we always do the medical checkups, but we make you responsible for your own health. So when you come in, we teach you how to check your own blood pressure with a blood pressure machine. We explain you what is a normal blood pressure, when do we have to be worried. And also you check your weight, and then we will listen to the heartbeat of the baby and we check the growth of the uterus. When you're not following the group meetings, you have a regular check. Again, your blood pressure, your weight, and we feel your belly with our hands. We have some points that we know, 20 weeks, your uterus will be around your belly button. And so there are more points. And then we listen to the heartbeat, we check the position of the baby, and answer your questions and give you information, of course. So every meeting has his own information about, for example, a whooping cough vaccination, or about breastfeeding, or about the heel prick tests, and so on.
And how long does this consultation take?
Yeah, it depends. If you always have a lot of questions, then we plan half an hour. If you are fine with just a normal checkup, it's 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's possible to request a longer one if someone has a lot of questions.
Sure, yeah. But then I prefer that you follow our group meetings, because in the group meetings we can discuss 9 times of 2 hours. Yeah. So we can discuss much more than you have just a separate appointment.
But I can imagine that it is for you as a midwife much more busy when you have the group meeting.
No, I feel comfortable with that. Yeah, of course, the first half an hour it's a bit rushing, because then everybody needs the checkup. Yes. But after that, I have all the time. And then I only have to tell it once instead of 12 times the same information.
Yeah, that's true.
People ask different questions, so you learn from each other. And sometimes there are people who already know it, and then I let them explain. Because the centering pregnancy is really not that I'm talking and the rest is listening. No, it's really from the group. So if people ask me a question, then I tell them, okay, what do you think yourself? Or does somebody else know the answer? Or, yeah, where can you find the information? So I'm not answering the question right away.
Okay.
I let people think themselves, because then you will remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you're really like you said, like putting them in control of their health and really empowering them to do that. How do people respond to that? Is there any kind of resistance?
No, not at all. Sometimes people come and then the first meeting they say, I'm not so really like a group person. And but yeah, if they know how it works, they are all very happy, and we get a lot of compliments afterwards that they are very happy that they were part of the group.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure you like or subscribe so you don't miss the second part of our conversation with Geertje, where we dive into mindset surrounding birth, tests and ultrasounds that you'll be offered during your pregnancy, and so much more. See you next time on Pregnant in the Netherlands.